Hi everybody, Grid21 back with another video. So I don't normally do book review videos, and there's a couple different reasons for that. One of them is that reading is not exactly one of my strong points. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I have trouble reading things, although my reading skills have like really dramatically improved within the last couple of years and stuff, just with a lot of writing I did for school. I now write show notes for my podcast and everything, so with that comes with reading a lot of articles, having to summarize articles and understand what it is that I'm reading. And the other reason is that it's just books are just something I don't generally pick up, not because I don't enjoy books, but it's just something that I don't do on a daily basis. Although I do like reading devotional books and stuff. Being a Christian is just I just like to read really good books and stuff. But this is a secular book, but I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to talk about it. So for those of you who may or may not know, I am a Tomb Raider fan. I love Lara Croft. I love the Tomb Raider series. It's just the idea of archaeology and adventuring and stuff. I think Tomb Raider's kind of got me a little bit more into history and more into the subject of archaeology and such. So recently I picked up this book, Tomb Raider 10,000 Immortals. Very, very excellent writing. This is some of the best writing I've ever really experienced and such. So to give you sort of a quick summary, if you haven't read the book, spoiler alert, so just don't be upset if you keep watching. This book, rather, is about Lara Croft and her friend Sam, who's been hospitalized after their adventure on, I think it was called a Yatamai. Sorry if I butchered that name. So this book actually takes place in between Tomb Raider 2013 and Rise of the Tomb Raider, so it's actually a good filler book to read if you've just gotten off of playing 2013 and you're segueing into Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I did just play recently, also equally as good. In fact, I plan to do a review, and probably by the time you see this, that review video has already been done and already up on YouTube at some point. So this is a in-between section where Laura's not exactly like going on a huge adventure, but it's just that in-between stage, because it mentions at the beginning of the book, Laura is suffering from basically a form of PTSD where what she experienced on Yatamai was so traumatic. She's having like flashbacks and mental breakdowns and stuff, which I can kind of relate to some degree. A lot of Laura's life, and especially some more recently, I can personally relate to and stuff, being through some of the things I've gone through. But anyway, so basically what has happened is that her friend has been hospitalized, and she has the spirit of, I can't think what the name was, but basically she's mentally not there, and she's kind of like under this spell that like she doesn't remember who Laura is, she doesn't remember who she is. She hears the voice of that spirit from Yatsumai and everything, and she's not herself and everything. So Laura then goes on the quest for, and if those of you who are familiar with mythical stories and things like that, the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece and things like that. So Laura's basically trying to go look for immortality, basically. I mean, what more classic thing could you look for than immortality? So that's basically, Laura basically then goes from different places to find the artifacts, and it's been a while since I've read the book, so the detail remembering is a little bit sketchy. I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna go back and read it again and such. But at any rate, she basically goes around the world again, of course, trying to find the artifacts to there was like this little golden calf, and then there was like part of the golden fleece that she found or was given to by a particular individual who was storing basically where he lived. There was all these artifacts that he kept in his possession, and on top of that, of course, with every Tomb Raider series, there's always a bad guy. So there's basically two bad guys that's following her. One, the bad group Trinity, which you actually eventually learn about in Rise of the Tomb Raider a little bit in more detail, and two, the really super bad guy Eris. And Eris is just he's a trip, and he's a real piece of work, and he is doing everything he can to just chase Laura, to stop Laura, to get to the artifact, of course, before Laura does and everything. I mean, what's a Tomb Raider book without the bad guys chasing after you, of course? So she's basically up against these two really super bad guys, and of course, one thing leads to another, and then eventually she gets everything she needs. When she goes back to find Sam, she finds that Sam is now finally mentally herself, and ends with a happy story, of course. But what was really good about the book was the writing. What's amazing about this, I'm sorry if I butcher his name. I'm just going to refer him by first name. Dan and Nick, who are known for writing things like Guardians of the Galaxy and some Marvel hero comics and books and stuff, and some of the movies actually were involved in the writing of this book. And the writing was so good that like I could put this down for like a couple days and pick the book right back up again, and I immediately knew exactly where I was left off. The writing is such that good writing should create an image in your head that when the writer talks about something or talks about something in detail, you immediately imagine it in your head. And that's what was so good about this book. The writing is absolutely amazing. I could sit there reading the book and immediately have this exact image of what everything looked like, how everything took place, where Laura was, what the environment was like, maybe even down to like what Laura was wearing. Sometimes the authors talked about that, or what the bad guys were wearing, or what a cave looked like, and you could just immediately imagine a dark cave and Laura scrambling through a dark cave that was very narrow and getting narrower, or things like that and stuff. Or some of the action scenes where Laura is on a deck of a ship with her friend, who unfortunately names escapes me. Like I said, I'm sorry. It's been since I read this book, so please be patient with me here. So there will be instances where there will be a fighting scene and they're on a deck of a boat, and some of the bad guys from, I think it was from Trinity actually, although there was another individual that was after Laura as well. But you just saw like the guys just fighting back and forth, or you could imagine the gunshots going off, or you could like hear sounds and see things, and it was just like this totally immersive experience that just left me and just like wanting to read more. I couldn't put this book down, and for someone who doesn't read a lot, that's really saying something. So this book is just completely worth it. I got it from Barnes and Noble actually. So hopefully, I'm sure that you can either get copies of this from there, or probably from Amazon, I'm sure. But just some of the detail was just absolutely incredible. Or like instances where they were at Harvard, and she would walk around the quad and see these artifacts and stuff. Or you can imagine there was a really cool chase scene actually where Laura is in a cab, and she tells the cab driver, I'm being chased by a bad boyfriend, and she said, can you go here, and you just imagine the cab driver just doing these sharp turns, and there's a mysterious black van following the cab, and you're just like driving around. It's like, oh crap, and they're doing these like crazy turns. So like it was like seeing a movie in your head. That's how good it was. It was awesome. So it's totally worth it to pick up this book. I can't say enough about how amazing this book was. The writing was just absolutely excellent. So if you're looking for a really good book to read this summer, come spring and stuff. I know it's been out for a while, but it is definitely worth reading again and again and again. And those kinds of books that have the best writing, that it's like you could pick it up anytime and just not, you can't get yourself to put it down. I mean, that's saying something as authors, and it's awesome. It really is an awesome book. So be sure to check out Tomb Raider 10,000 Immortals. Again, you can probably get it at like Barnes and Noble, or more likely Amazon and stuff. So that's my book review. I'm sorry, I've never done one of these before, so let me know what you guys thought of my first ever book review. And if you want me to do more book reviews or things like that, I mean, I'm willing to kind of try anything on my channel, really. I know that I do a lot of tech videos and a lot of gaming videos. I was thinking about maybe doing some like commentary type of videos on like just life situations. I know that I've been trying to do like blog stuff occasionally, which I'm still trying to get comfortable around in front of a camera and stuff. So if I stumble over myself, it's totally not intentional at all. So until then, I'll catch you guys later. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think if you've read this book. Let me know what you personally thought about it. I would love to have some conversation about it. And until then, I will catch you guys later.